You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, presented by the Only One Media Group. This is the people's choice for quality interviews, celebrities and special guests. Hosted by Demetrius Dinny Reynolds. Call in to join the mix at 701-801-9813. For the complete archive of episodes, visit onlyonemediagroup.com and be sure to like us on Facebook at Vigilantes Radio. We welcome all. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds. Enjoy the show.
Yo, what is up, and welcome to another awesome episode of Vigilantes Radio. I'm your host, dini-mussolini, and we have a very special guest today, so you definitely want to stick around for that. You know, guys, little things can have a big impact. I mean, a massive impact. Whether that impact is positive or negative, it's up to you. Learn to be the master of the little things without letting the little things run your life. It is useful to pay attention to details, but it is also dangerous to be ruled by them. There is a big difference between being disciplined, careful, and attentive and being obsessive. The difference is in clearly focusing on the purpose of your efforts. Look at everything in terms of the big picture. To the extent that the details enhance and promote your overall purpose, give them your time and your energy. To the extent that the details detract from and even replace the original purpose, by letting them go. Nothing is more wasteful than worrying and fretting over trivial details that don't even matter at the end of the day. And a few things are more empowering than having all the details working in your favor. Keep your purpose clearly in mind and make the details your servant rather than your master. Take that from me, dini-mussolini. That is my word, and word is bond.
You're live in the mix. Let's get this started.
Yo, hello and welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Music or Inside the Book. Inside the business, where we dive into the minds of the people who create marvelous things. It feels so good to be back with you guys once again. So one time for my people who are indigos, crystalline or starseeds, or for my Vigilantes audience family, and 2 times for my people who are vegetarian or vegans. If you're like me, we are averaging over 37,000 live listeners, and we've been at this for 4 solid years. I appreciate all you guys who've been rocking with the kid on this journey, and we are still evolving, baby. It is all because of you, most definitely. We are the people who have dedicated their lives to music, spirituality, business, literature, art, movies, and research in every aspect, and we want to allow you an opportunity to tell your story. Man, we've had celebrities on our show, from Grammy Award winning artists to nominees to actors, comedians, CEOs, technology geniuses, visual artists, from authors to professors and aliens, or people who think they're aliens. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. Come on our show and talk to me. So check it out. To book an interview or just to share a real cool story, email me at vradio@onlyonemediagroup.com, and that's V as in Victor. I'm passionate about what I do, just as passionate about what you do, and together, yes, together, we can get your voice heard by the people who should hear it. So let's create something incredible. You know the number to dial, 701-801-9813. text that number to your buddy right now and tell them to tune in to connect with us or our guests, or you can hop in the mix directly from our website, onlyonemediagroup.com. Right from the homepage, you can slap that go live button and you'll be right here live in the mix and in the chat room with all of us. Feel free to shoot over some questions to ask our guests while they are here, but only as time permits. Sometimes my guests and I talk entirely too much and we take up the entire hour. And as always, all episodes are available for free download, and you can grab that from either Spreaker.com/onlyonemediagroup, iTunes, YouTube, or any app from the Google Play or iTunes store, or over at our website. And that goes for every single episode that we ever aired.
All right, guys, tonight's interview is the Denisa Axhami interview, and again, I'm your host, dini-mussolini. Our interviews go beyond the music, the blogs, the books, the businesses, the movies, the typical things that happen in this earth, and into the minds of the people who create it. From researching our guests, relentlessly mining for details, and listening, reading, and watching everything we can, our interviews are designed to bring out the best answers possible through provoking questions. We're kind of like TMZ, digging out all your secrets and catching you in odd moments. We're probably not like TMZ, but it was worth a shot, and no shade involved. We were just trying to exist amongst the media giants, right? Yeah. So a sincere warm welcome to Denisa. She's an entrepreneur extraordinaire to our show this evening. We'll have an absolutely amazing time talking with her about her services, good versus bad marketing, and what makes a brand accessible to all walks of life. Well, I don't want to give too much away like a trailer in a movie, but you get the point. Anyway, with that, let's welcome her to our show. Hello, Denisa. You're now live with all of us. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you? And it's pronounced Denisa.
Denisa.
So,
okay.
That's okay. You're like Denisa. I'm like, is this the wrong podcast on?
All right, Denisa. Got it. All right. Well, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah. So, thank you.
Of course. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here, and I appreciate the intro. And I've researched yourself and the podcast, and you have a great podcast here, and it takes dedication. So it means a lot for me for you to have me on your podcast.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you. So, the woman who wears many hats and have a drive like no other. It's extreme privilege to have you here. And so, yeah, what I really want to do is kind of start at the tippy top, We'll get into, like, your life journey a little later, but, like, let's start from the top of how you formed your service and your platform. Like, how did that journey begin?
Well, it was upsetting to see emerging entrepreneurs and other creatives, such as music artists, struggle to grow. And the resources, tools, and platforms weren't there for them. And, of course, these major platforms and blogs cost, and they're just starting off, they don't have that kind of budget. So I started the Detroit Entrepreneur. It is free. It is a media outlet, online magazine/blog. It's yet to be launched, but I believe that their money should go and be spent on building their brand rather than invest heavy dollars for a blog feature. And I believe at one point major blogs will approach them. As for public relations services, I'm an independent PR specialist, and I've become very good at this. It's my excellent communication and the fact that I travel state to state just to network that sets me apart from the rest. And so basically a client of mine gave me the nickname the PR lady, and I have people that don't know my first name, but they call me the PR lady. But yeah, I have genuine intentions and a great work ethic that have truly brought me here, and I just wanted to give back to the people that I guess are lacking the resources.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Are you lowering the cost of PR services, or are you totally offering them for free?
Well, the Detroit Entrepreneur, the media outlet, being featured does not cost. That is just the business of that's the business itself. But myself, as for my PR services, I keep them real low. I only charge for time, and I honestly don't take a penny extra because I know they're just starting off, and my intentions are pure. I want to help people. I'm not money hungry. I know there's people that will charge a ridiculous amount and, you know, won't give their undivided attention.
Yeah. You know, that's always a hard conversation to have, especially when you're in the publication world. There's some media outlets, and I'm sure you know this, there's some media outlets that their platform is large enough to, you know, let people come on for free, like let's say the Breakfast Club. And then you have smaller, you know, platforms who charge, almost $1,000 just for 30 minutes. And you know, it becomes a balance of, okay, are they, what's the end goal for this business? Are they in it to make money, or are they in it to feature an artist, or feature the product, or whether, because I'm sure which each product or each artist that comes on a show or a feature, they're bringing their circle with them, or their fans with them. It's just a hard conversation of how to set the value on something like time and energy and things of that nature. Have you wrestled with that in the past, and do you still wrestle with that now?
Slightly. The most recent one, I was actually shocked that she didn't really understand it. But basically, when I say my time, it's essentially what I make with my day job, I guess, because I do multiple things. So that's what I charge. I just charge them, you know, just so it's basically an hour out of my desk is an hour of my time. So it's just my services that I charge for. But she really wasn't understanding that time is valuable. And I was just like, you know, I'm not even about to try to win her over this. Like, I can't dedicate all this time and get you published in several articles for free. You know, it's not like I'm not making profit off of those features, but it's essentially, that's a lot of time. You know, you go back and forth, and I'm sure you know this as a podcast host. You know, you go back and forth with a lot of people, a lot of middlemen. But for the most part, it's been good. Of course, I work with budgets, and people understand. If people are good to work with, they'll understand. I have value, and they have value, and we just come to an agreement there. So.
Yeah. Cool deal. Yeah, I kind of wrestled with that in the beginning, you know, this show, coming into formation. We've been doing it for 6 years now. It's putting a value on time. And you're right, a lot of people don't get that concept of, you know, there has to be some exchange, you know, money for time, time for time, energy for energy. Something has to be exchanged. There's just a law for that, you know. But, you get the questions like, why do you charge for this? And it's not for that particular, it's for the time spent doing that to prepare for, you know, this. So, but you have to look at it from your perspective, especially when you're offering your service to a region, you know, as Detroit entrepreneurs. That's great for the community and all, you know, big ups to you for that. For being free, matter of fact. But when it comes to other aspects of how you're supposed to sustain your professional image, you know, there has to be a price tag somewhere. Don't you agree?
Right. Yeah. Of course. And there's the PR lady, my public relations services. I'm getting the LLC for that just yet. So the Detroit entrepreneur and the PR lady, I feel like I'm going to make that the business. It's two separate things, but for sure, of course, in the beginning, I started to do it for free. And I'm just like, I count the hours of the day that you put in for these people. And it turned out to be around 45 hours a week. Yeah. And I was like, I can't be doing that. Because think about it, 2-3 hours a day. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Per person, too, so.
Okay. So the PR lady, the Detroit Entrepreneurs, you empower women as well. You're part of that group. What else do you do? I heard you were a two-time author and recording artist.
Recording artist, I can't sing or rap or anything. So, but I am. I did write 2 books.
Okay.
A few years ago. I used to manage artists, but right now I just do PR for artists. So maybe that's where you kind of got confused for a second. I did A&R work as well. I wear so many hats, so I'm pretty much everywhere. But that's what PR people do, honestly.
Yeah.
They're the middlemen for many, many different things.
Most definitely. So let's get into some business talk. A lot of people in older companies or people with old ideas out there that say they don't get social engineering or digital marketing, PR, for one reason or another. What do you believe defines what is good and bad marketing, or what is good and bad PR all about?
Well, people are going to have opinions on bad marketing and good marketing strategies, but it depends on who the company or the artist or the person is. But everything's online, and it's honestly crucial to use the online world and social media as tools for growth, since it is free for the most part. I'm not talking like, on Instagram, how you can promote posts and stuff. Social media, for the most part, it's free. And networking is great too, but it requires in-person networking and travel and all that. But by utilizing social media and such, you can reach a large amount of people all over the world. And, well, one form of marketing may work for one individual, but could be a poor idea for the other. Right, for example, yeah. I had a cleaning service company who wanted to invest in social media and online publicity. Well, since her services are provided in person, it's more so local, so it's much smarter to invest in ads in local newspapers and whatnot, but the exact opposite applies to music artists or online stores.
Yeah.
So, if that makes sense. Press releases are essentially our online resume, so.
Okay. And you're so right.
Did that answer the question?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because sometimes you go on a tangent talking.
No, that's great though. So how do you train your clients to know and learn the difference of tactics for building a business?
I must answer the question before, but the same thing applies. I provide custom services, meaning I won't give one opportunity to multiple people. I don't provide the same strategies to everyone, as many do, because they're absolutely lazy and they just, give that cookie cutter, do this, do that. Learning the difference is trial and error for them, and what might work for one might not work for the other.
Yeah.
It's a saturated field, but it just takes the trial and error, and it's different for everybody. Yeah. Everyone's unique, so.
Saturated for entrepreneurs or saturated for PR companies?
Well, saturated for music artists, for entrepreneurs, as many, especially in music. So everyone has to handle it differently, have their own unique strategy, because if they're doing what everybody's doing, they're going to get the same outcome, and you really want to stand out. You don't want to just blend in.
Right on. You're right. So I guess we should clear the air as best as we can. I couldn't find any published interviews with you yet, so I'm thinking we're at least at the front of the pack in discovering you, if not maybe even be the first interview for you. But every person in some sort of journalistic history has had to answer the question regarding why do we do this? And so I think it's perfect to ask you that question. Why are you doing this? So tell us the truth. Why are you venturing into the public relations business?
I actually ventured into PR accidentally, honestly. I just enjoyed linking the others to resources and watching the positive outcome. And As for the interviews and stuff, I was actually interviewed on the London Daily Post. It was like the PR lady of Detroit building bridges. And so that was my first, I guess, article. You would be my second podcast, so thank you. You are a stepping stone for my journey. I appreciate that. And so basically, are we talking specifically PR or my career as a whole in business?
Yeah, your career as a whole. Let's do that.
Okay. Well, to go from the beginning, I opened my first business at 19.
Wow.
And it was an online store. And I did everything myself. You can imagine I was the CEO, I was the photographer because you have to have the professional photography for the jewelry and whatnot. I was the social media manager. I did everything. But being 19 and not knowing as much as the older business, there's nothing wrong with being young and a business owner, but I didn't know as much, and online stores weren't as popular, so there wasn't too many resources to look through. So that was my first business, and then I kind of tried trial and error for me. I tried many different things. So the Detroit Entrepreneur, the media outlet, would be my third business. So I've been a go-getter, honestly, for lack of better terms. I just call myself a go-getter. It makes more sense. As for the entertainment world, honestly, so I found this artist online. At the time, he had a different name. Now he goes by Bull. We call him Big Bull. Shout out to him. And I saw that he had talent, and he belonged on the radio, and he belonged on stage, and much larger than the local platforms. And I knew people at Universal Music Group. I'm not sure if you know what Universal is. So basically, I wanted to link them with Bull, and it was kind of like A&R work, and I didn't even know it. So that's how I kind of dived into entertainment. It was just accidental, and a lot of people say in their careers, like, "Oh, how did you venture into this?" And you're like, and they just answer, I mean, it just happened that way. Obviously, it's meant to be, and I really enjoyed the A&R work. And he was the first artist that I got involved in that way. And then from then on, I went on to work with like 60, 70 artists.
Wow.
A lot of people. Yeah. So I'm heavily involved in music. And this isn't just Detroit. This is all over. Yeah. And then that's where the PR came in. And that's where the Detroit Entrepreneur online blog came in, because I want to provide free services, a free platform. Everybody deserved that attention and exposure. So
yeah, that's so cool. So you knew that as a go-getter that you had to be doing something, like you had to start something. And I guess you do know how to start a business. That is for sure. So do you coach other people on how to get the ball started?
Yes. I do provide business plans, and I think I did the same thing when I started. People start without a plan.
Yeah.
So I almost sound like a hypocrite deep down when I speak to them. I almost sound like a hypocrite telling them, "Oh, don't start without a plan." Meanwhile, 6 years ago, I did the same thing.
Yeah.
But to start with a plan, don't just risk it all. And I know entrepreneurs and business owners, there's that risk. And I feel like we almost enjoy it, but there is a risk. But if you go in without a plan or a budget, if you just go in and wing everything, you're putting yourself into financial danger. That's a dead end for you. And it's just not a smart idea. So I've had people come in with just ideas, and then I've had people just be like, "Hey, it's been 2 years doing this. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Please help me."
Yeah.
So I'm basically taking my experience, because it has been 5-6 years. I may be young, but my work and work ethic and my dedication to them and my skills and experience totally playing a part.
Yeah. So you help revive businesses too?
Yes.
That's
Yes,
awesome.
because if they're seeking services to better the business or to create some sort of different strategy, because if it's not working, something's going wrong, but they still have faith in the business to continue, the fact that they're going out there and hiring people to help them shows their dedication, and I'm always down to work with people like that. So
Yeah. People who are investing into their future. Yeah.
yes, very important.
Most definitely. So you wrote a book, 2 books. What prompted you to get started on that journey?
See, they were both poetry books. So I enjoyed writing poems, and I was like, why would I just stay in my room and write? Why not make a book? Put it out there. And I was shy at first. I'm like, who writes a book? And I was 21. I'm like, who writes books these days? But I did, and I published both. But from then, I just realized they're not. My talent has to be showcased somewhere else, because books are, just like you mentioned earlier, like the older strategies of marketing. That would be books in my situation. So I took it to music, and that's where I started writing songs, and I've written hundreds of songs.
Wow.
And so I guess that's another way I got into entertainment. But yeah, I made that book, and then it went to songwriting because it's a much better, marketing tool.
So what do you believe will draw people and artists to your business?
To make it simple, are you speaking on the Detroit entrepreneur or the PR lady?
The
PR
lady.
services.
Yeah.
Honestly, the dedication. I know there's people like myself. I know there's plenty of good, honest, genuine people in the music world and the business world. But it is the genuine intention of wanting them to make it, to make their dreams come true. I know that sounds so cheesy, but I really want people to do well, and it's rare to find people, professionals, that put their client first rather than money. I don't see everybody as a dollar sign. I see them as a human being chasing their dreams, and I'm more than willing to be a part of that.
Yeah, same here. Do you feel like you'll ever venture outside of the entertainment industry and build other businesses?
Yes. This isn't really a business, but I would love to own a nonprofit organization, some sort of charity in the future.
Yeah.
And of course, you'd have to be super financially stable. But I'd love to have because the Detroit Entrepreneur is almost like somewhat of a nonprofit organization, but just helping people in different ways, maybe providing resources to students wanting to go into business, you know what I mean? Something like that, something related, just to help out the community. So that's one thing that's going to be in my future for sure.
Yeah. All right. So we know that you started your first business at 19, a jewelry store, online jewelry store. But let's go even further than that. Give us your story about how your journey began. You can go back as far as you want, but we really want to get a grasp of how you were raised, your mindset going into age 19. Saying, hey, I need to do something for me, and starting this business is going to be that, whether you had a plan or not. And I know life coaches who say that, just get started. That's the plan. And then others,
exactly.
Don't have a plan. Have a plan because you don't want to fall flat on your face. But yeah, take us back. We love stories.
Well, let's see. Let's start from my childhood. I am the firstborn child, so I always say that played a part in my leadership skills, because I'm the older sister of 3 kids. So I have 2 sisters and then a little brother. So I've always been the one babysitting, teaching them right from wrong, even though I did the same thing when I was, at their age. So the leadership in me was honestly given to me from birth. From then on, I really didn't do good in high school, and I was like, I absolutely do not want to go into college, but I did, and I actually enjoyed my business classes. So here I am at 18, not wanting to go to college, but I'm there just because everybody else is. It's almost like you want to just follow what people are doing. And going into business, and I'm sure you and other listeners that are doing the same know that being an entrepreneur is not the traditional strategy and plan people have. It's almost like, oh, you're in school. Are you in school? What about you? Oh, I'm an entrepreneur. I do this, that. It's a little different. So from then on, so many things happen. But from then, I'm here now with years of experience, and I do owe all this to my parents, honestly. And I honestly do all of it for them. I'm sure in your life you've always wanted to make your parents proud. So this is the reason I keep going and never stopping, is because I love my parents that much, and I want them to be proud. So
most definitely. All right. So that was a very interesting story there. So all those things were ingrained in you from a very, very, very early start, being an older sibling. I wasn't the oldest. I was the middle child. So, yeah. I was Is it the younger ones or the middle ones that are spoiled? It's the older and the younger one that are spoiled.
That's funny. I think my middle sister said I'm the neglected one.
Yeah. The redheaded stepchild, You got to deal with the dictator, which is the older sibling, and then the one who gets everything in the world, the younger sibling.
That is funny.
All right, so you're living in the great state of Michigan. That housed and birthed a lot of talents. So level with me, how do you plan on becoming identifiable in a never-ending sea of new emergence of business and entrepreneurs contained on that side of the country?
We really do have so much talent here, and from my perspective, the issue is that people are so competitive, but I'm not in competition with anybody. How can I make myself identifiable, or in other words, stand out from others? Is just being consistent, put myself out there, press releases, get on articles, podcasts such as yours right now, sharpen my image, honestly, my online profile, add on credentials, and just get the public familiar with my face and voice. I had a consultant tell me that you have all these hidden gems, basically, and people don't know it. It doesn't show on Instagram. Just like how you said, you researched and couldn't find any published interviews and stuff. Well, that's my fault, first of all, because I guess I was afraid to put myself out there. But I'm good now. It's getting there.
Most definitely. So I suppose with the internet, you can do business in any part of the world. So kind of walk us through the steps of when a new client signs on with your company, and this is for either company, but particularly the PR lady.
Well, I do an initial consultation when I have, because I'm not just going to work with anybody. I speak to them. It takes about an hour. I see if they're a good fit. If I'm not able to provide their needs, for example, if what I'm capable of doing is beyond or is not up to par, I would refer them to someone else. And if we're on the same page, we'll work from there. And of course, they get their own custom plan and my undivided attention as always. And we work as a team, honestly. It's not like one does more work than the other. So from then on, it's up to them. I work with them in depth, and we just, how to explain, everyone's different. I can't just generalize everything.
Right.
But yeah, I think they're a good fit. We make sure we're on the same page. We create a vision, create a plan, and execute it.
Dope. So I want to ask you this question right now because it's my favorite. But tell me 5 things that you know to be absolutely 100% true about the entertainment industry.
5 things that I believe are true about the entertainment industry?
Yep.
Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Well, unfortunately, the first thing that came to mind is that it is very cutthroat. There's so much competition that people are just going to great lengths. For example, in Detroit, like you said, we have a lot of talent. Yes, we do. And specifically in rap, we have people that are so competitive that the first person that makes it out of Detroit, that is nearing the mainstream level, unfortunately, we've had people get killed, artists, out of jealousy, out of that competitive mentality. So, number one, the cutthroat vibe. Number 2 is that there's endless creatives and artists. It's wonderful. You won't come across the same individual every time. These artists, they have their own stories, they have their own upbringing, and their own reasons for doing music. Number 3, some of it is fake. The way, for example, in rap, all the beef, all of the lyrics, I don't want to say majority, but some of it is all just for music. It's just lyrics. It's not true. So that's one thing I learned, that songs aren't always true.
Right.
Am I on 4 now?
Yep.
4? Okay. So 4, these artists work so hard, and I couldn't fathom it in the beginning. I can't even express how hard they work. Day in and day out, they're in the studio or they're writing. It's almost like 24/7 they're working on their craft. And these are for the artists that are serious. And they work so hard. It's a 24/7 job, and it's so sad because there's such a small window of opportunity and an even smaller window of making it, so to speak. And number 5, Number 5 would be that they just want their dreams to come true. It just comes down to, it's always, why do you do music? Why are you in music? And they always say, well, I've always wanted to be in music. I'd be in my room and I'd pretend like I'm performing on stage, and I always wanted to be famous, and I write these words down, and I've always wanted to perform. It's just they have this I want my dreams to come true type mentality, and it's really beautiful.
Yeah. All right. Websites, you got them, we need them. Where can people find you and contact you for your services?
My website is www.deni-sobcci.com. I go by 2 different names. Denisa Axhami is for the PR entertainment, and then my legal name, Denisa Axhami, is more so for academic purposes. I did that just to separate the 2 identities, because in the future I want to do community work and legislative, and I don't want people Googling my name and seeing, yes, I am running for Congress, but I was also managing their favorite rapper back in the day. I just wanted 2 different, I wear many different hats, but I'm 2 different people at the same time.
All right.
So that's my website, and then my Instagram is DENISA-DOBCEBOCCI.
Right on. And I don't think that's such a bad thing. Identity is identity. Yeah. Maybe president one day is like, you know what, she used to manage artists back in the day.
Can you imagine running for president and just like, they used to manage little blah 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 back 20 years ago? That's cool.
Yeah, people think that would be so cool. Arnold Schwarzenegger, bodybuilder actor before he became governor.
Exactly. Very true. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. Because, one thing that won't change is your image, your face. The name can change. But
unless I'm really into Hollywood. I keep going into Hollywood and stuff. It might change a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Well, one final question for you. What aspirations keep you up at night?
That's a deep question. Well, before any dreams or aspirations, the number one thing that keeps me up at night is grad school. So I'm up at night and I do a lot of thinking. Honestly, it is it's just kind of cliche, but my aspiration is to change the world, make an impact on a global level. And I am doing that now, thankfully. I've always my dream was to make dreams come true, and I really can't put it to words. That's what I'm doing in person, just trying to make an impact on the world.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, we are rooting for you, very much so.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Conquer the world. All right. So, we want to wish you well and much success in 2020. January is almost over. Can you believe that? It's about to be February. It's crazy how time flies.
It felt like a really long month. It really felt like a really long month.
Yeah. But we made it. Yeah.
We did. Yep. Thankfully.
All right. Well, we wish you well and have a great night.
Thank you so much. You too.
You're welcome.
Thank you, my Vigilantes family, as always, for checking out my podcast over here at Vigilantes Radio. All episodes are available for free download, and you can grab that from either Spreaker.com/only1mediagroup, iTunes, YouTube, any app that's on a Google Play or iTunes store, or our website, and that goes from every single episode that we've ever aired. If you'd like to request music or a particular guest or send something for me to play, email it to vradio@only1mediagroup.com. If it's music, please label it by artist and title. Here's my disclaimer. We are genre free, we do not judge, and we absolutely do not base our opinions on hearsay but facts alone. And actually, you can scratch all of that because all of my opinions are always right. That's the bottom line. This is my show, so deal with it. Nah, just kidding. On behalf of myself, Dini-Mussolini, I appreciate all you guys for tuning in, either afterwards or live with us. Spread the word because sharing is caring. We stepped up our game just for you guys and our guests to make sure that you have the best experience here on our show. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, as well as Spreaker. We always follow back. That is the number one rule. Okay, well, just remember to be yourself and be absolutely great at just doing that. Avoid being too comfortable because you're messing with your potential when you do that. Peace and have a good night.
You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, the people's choice for quality interviews, art, music, and hot topics. Hosted by Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds of the duo No Longer the Hero. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at www.onlyonemediagroup.com. This is a Seventh Sign Regime Rebirth Worldwide Syndicate exclusive.